What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. It's the big thing. It's myself and Roxy Striar. She is blowing bubbles. We'll get to that in a second. The Kang Dynasty. We talked about it on yesterday's show that the screenwriter was Gonski. Well, now the director is Gonski. So I think it means that Kang might be Gonski. We'll talk about that. All right, man. There's a lot of movies coming out. We got Napoleon coming out. I saw that. I'll get my non-spoiler thoughts for that movie. Roxy will ask me questions. I also saw The Hunger Games, Ballad of Songs and Farts. Was it Snakes and Farts? Was it?
Snakes and Songs?
Songbirds and Snakes.
Sounds right.
Something like that. So we'll talk about that. And then there's a few other stories here and there. Some trailers that dropped. There's TV stuff. There's other things. So we got a lot to talk about. And yes, we finally got a neighbor update and new sounds from Roxy. No Brett today, but that's okay because Roxy and I need to talk about things. She's in trouble. That's not true. So, Roxy, I'll tell her in a second. Before we do anything else, let me tell you guys about this. We have a show coming up. That's right. On December 2nd, stand-up comedy. Roxy Striar hosting the whole night. She's very excited about it. She's confident. She's ready to go.
What?
So, get your tickets for December 2nd. Coy, Winston, Chris Carr, Kate Mulligan, Brett Sheridan. It's going to be awesome. So make sure you go. And if you're not signed up to that Patreon, you get us to 600 patrons, Mike Kalinowski will do 5 minutes also. All right, let's get to this, man. You're already on Apple Podcasts. You're on Spotify, so you're listening. It's me and Roxy. It's the big thing. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's the big thing. It is Thursday. Roxy Striar doing bubbles.
Yeah, honestly.
Why don't you stand by the mic? You're like coy today. What are you doing?
What?
You're like so far away from the microphone. What are you doing?
I don't think I am.
You don't think so? Let me say hello.
Hello,
All right,
it's me. These are defective.
Oh, the bubbles? Oh, they're working.
No,
the little ones.
they've got this like little bubbles in the bubble. It's got to be a clean sheet.
Tiny bubbles in the wine. Yep.
Make me happy.
Make me feel happy.
Make me feel fine.
Close.
Something like that, right?
Something like that.
Give me a break. That's before my time.
You never heard a song before your time that you don't know the words to?
I mean, I think that song's from like the 30s.
It's not from the 30s. It's Don Ho.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from the 30s.
Is it from the 60s?
I think so. When is, let's see.
Tiny Bubbles.
Hey, Alexa, what year did Tiny Bubbles come out?
You know who is obsessed with that song?
Tiny Bubbles
Kevin.
by Don Ho was released in 1966.
66.
By the way, you have a new notification.
Oh.
Do you want to hear it?
No, fuck off.
I want to hear it. Take the risk.
Nah, it's gone.
Just
It's
try
over.
it.
No, I'm good. So, Tiny Bubbles, who's obsessed with it?
Kevin loves that song.
Oh, Kevin.
The only reason I know the song, he used to play it.
So funny. Tiny bubbles in the wine.
It's Make Me Feel Happy, Make Me Feel Happy.
Make me feel happy.
No, there's something fucking wrong with these.
Make me feel fine. I wonder if anybody out there who listens to this show knows that song. What do you think?
Only if they're 100.
It's a really stupid thing to say. Before we move on, did you pay any attention to the stuff going on in the UAP world?
No, my dad sent me a text message at like 2 a.m. Was like, did you see?
There's stuff going on, I think, yesterday at this point, so we'll have some updates for Tuesday for sure.
I got to look into it right now.
Yeah.
I'm about 6 days behind, which in this world is a lifetime.
It's a lifetime.
Yeah.
So, we'll be checking that out. But we're going to talk about some things with me and the Rocks. I'm trying to think if we should get into... Yeah, you know what? Let's do the audio. So give me updates on the neighbor.
Okay, so I haven't given you updates on the neighbor in probably like...
Yeah, so we've had... This is a good thing. This isn't a bragging thing. This is so you know things because you've been gone for a little bit. Since you've been gone... Who sings that?
Kelly Clarkson.
Nice.
So the young people know that one.
Yes. So since you've been gone...
I Can't Breathe for the first time?
No. We've had a lot of new people come in, which is great. But they might not know...
That's trash.
Why?
They're saying it's trash.
Why? You don't want to tell the new people about your neighbor?
Oh, the new people at home. I think meant my seat. I was going to say I'm better.
You could have gotten away with You could have gotten away with not realizing what I said and then kept that in there.
I didn't, though.
No, you didn't.
The people at home are not trash.
You like the people at home.
I
it's
love
people
the
trying
people
to
at
take your
home.
job that you don't like.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Of course. Sure. All right. So
Yeah, do you remember I used to come to work? You didn't like this.
What?
And now the world doesn't like this. I used to come with like a 102 fever. I never missed a day. When we were at Collider back in Schmoes, I never missed a day because nobody's taking my fucking seat.
right.
Never
We-
missed a day.
It was so funny because when we can say this. I saw you at a screening and I was like, yeah, you coming back? And you're like, well, I didn't lose my seat, right? I'm like, no, you didn't lose your seat.
Yeah, but then I said, yes, I did.
And I said, no, you didn't.
You had friends on.
Yeah, well, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Need to talk about things, you know what I'm saying?
You're supposed to wait for me.
What's the opposite?
You're supposed to shut down your
What's
channel.
the opposite of true?
Truer.
False. Okay.
Okay, I'll
yes.
ask you this question.
Go ahead.
What's the opposite of matter?
Mad. Hey, everybody, it's the Mad Hatter. I'm going to be here today. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Not bad. Come on.
Is it good?
Do you want to get a laugh real quick? What my 12-year-old said to me? Very hard.
I haven't seen her in a while.
She's super tall. It's ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah. So she
was already taller than me.
She
so.
was in some kind of mood the other day, and we were leaving for school, and she, raised her voice, whatever, too, and I said, "Hey, the windows are open. Don't be embarrassing." So she's like, "What's embarrassing is that haircut."
Let me see.
Not right now.
What you got?
I guess it's got a lot going on.
Is it a mop?
No, it's not a mop. It was just my.
Was she right?
No, my wife has been cutting my hair since the pandemic.
Okay, but we're not in the pandemic anymore,
But
Kristian.
remember, my wife was.
Oh,
worked
yeah.
at-
She's good at that. Okay,
that's-
It's not like me cutting your hair.
No, it's not like I just found some random person. It's like, hey, my mom cuts my hair. It's not like that. It's like this is what she did for years. But I just gotten it cut, and my daughter just fired, and I didn't laugh in front of her. But when I was like, damn.
How did you help it?
At the time,
Yeah.
I was a bedhead. I didn't care.
No, how did you help your laugh? I would have just.
Oh, she walked out of the room,
Oh,
and
and
I
then
waited for her
you're-
to walk, and then I laughed. I said, "Damn, it was good." She's like, but I was like, come on, don't scream. It's embarrassing. What's embarrassing is that haircut. I was like, that's good. All right. Anyway, go ahead. So let's
Yeah, what do
warn
you
the
want?
people at home and tell them
What's up?
what the situation.
For
Give
the
them
new
like a
people.
previously on.
Okay, so previously on my life,
Yes.
I have a neighbor. We share a wall, and she is. Kristian thinks that she's a lady of the night. I think girls just want to have fun. So somewhere in between those things,
Maybe both.
Yeah, she is getting more action than anybody I've ever met in my entire life.
Right.
And at first, it was different people every time.
Okay.
But now,
Same dude?
This one dude seems to prevail.
Is it the crying dude in the corner?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have video cameras at our apartment in the hallway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I can see. I always, whenever I get the ring notification, I look just to see who's in the hallway. I'm not like spying on her.
Right.
I just always like to see who's walking
Yeah,
down
if
the
you're
hallway.
in the hallway, free game.
Right, because it's like 1 a.m. in the hallway, right? 2 a.m. in the
Yeah,
hallway.
yeah.
So it's not like I'm checking it at noon.
No, total fair game.
But it's when it's at nighttime. Okay, so I can see who's going in and who's going out. So this girl,
So can she.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Which is how you know I'm not recording her by her door because she would see me. So that's how you know I'm
Right.
in my apartment.
Mine was a sexual joke, but yes.
going in and going out.
Yeah.
She could see who's going
Yeah,
in and going
yeah,
out.
yeah.
I don't know.
That's okay.
I feel like there's some blindfolded stuff going on in there.
Maybe,
She might not
maybe
be able to
so.
see.
Maybe so.
I got there eventually.
That's all right.
So anyway, she had been sleeping around, and it keeps me up all night, like until 4 a.m.
Right.
Very, very loud and strange noises, dog style noises.
It sounded like we've played audio because again, my belief, and I think a lot of people agreed, is that if you're in your own house,
I'm in my room.
if you're in your room and you're recording the sounds that you hear, the ambiance going on around you, and it picks that up, fair game. Now, if you're sticking the thing near her door underneath it, creepy.
It didn't start because of the show. It started because I would be in my room and I'd be
I remember.
woken up by screaming dog sounds.
Right.
And I was like, is everything okay? And I started to record it to send to one of my other neighbors to be like, what is happening here?
Right.
And then it was every single night. And I was like, oh my God, this is effing ridiculous.
That's a lot. All right. So what's the
so
news
this is
story?
what happens during the pandemic. This is what happens during the strike when I
Okay.
wasn't here.
Okay. I'm going to ramp the audio. Go ahead.
Homegirl moves out.
Did she
what I
definitely
believe.
move out?
So here's what happened.
Okay.
I have one friend in my building.
Okay. One.
He's the homie.
Okay.
Well, there's only 8 units in my or 9 units in my building.
Okay.
So I'm friendly with a lot of people, but I have one friend.
Okay.
And he told me, "Are you so stoked that she's moving out?" Because he knows she
Right.
keeps me up all night.
Sure.
And I said, "She's moving out?" And he said, "Yeah, I heard she's moving out." And I was like, "Oh, that's so great." Then, even though she is a lovely girl,
Right, but who
she's
wants
nice.
to-
I
yeah,
actually like her, but
still,
all night.
that's a lot. Yeah.
So then I see U-Hauls and movers, and I watch her move her stuff out into the U-Hauls.
Okay.
I watch her on my cams. I see what's happening, and I was like, "Wow, she's really leaving." Her car's gone. But that guy, the one that was consistent,
The crier.
his car's there all the time now, and I was like, "Huh."
Did he move in?
So he must have moved in. And I'm sitting there like, wait, what? Did they move in together? Did he just happen to move in? What's going on? And she's there every day.
Okay, so
So she moved her stuff out, but she's living there
with
and-
him anyway.
I guess.
So what am I about to play here?
So what you're about to play is that the noises have started again.
Okay.
And
After a hiatus.
after a brief hiatus,
Okay.
not too long of a hiatus, and I don't know. I want people to know at home. I've never seen a dog go in or out of this apartment.
Right.
So what you're about to play is what
Could be the
I
dogs
hear.
again. Okay, let's see.
I think I sent it to you at 1 a.m.
All right, let's see. Hold on. This is what.
So this is from my room at 1 a.m.
is choking going on. Can't really.
I know it's harder to hear.
This one's harder. It could sound like a dog. It could sound like squealing. It's weird. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
But it's like 3 hours of this. Obviously, I only sent you a minute.
Right.
But it's 3 hours.
And it continuously just has been happening for a year, right?
Longer.
2?
Yeah. So, but you can hear it's weird sounding, right?
Yeah,
like
it's weird. It doesn't
I
sound.
know it
like-
doesn't
it's not
sound
like
that loud.
sexy sex.
It doesn't sound that loud here, but when you're in, that's
Of
on
course.
my phone
If you can
in
pick-
my room.
You're picking that up. You're picking that up from the walls of your own
So I
apartment.
want you to know that I've never been in this person's apartment, but my bathroom is between her apartment and my
Sure,
room.
Sure. So you understand why you can hear it, but it's like
No, I'm saying I'm not even next to that wall.
Oh, okay.
I still have a bathroom and then my room, and this is from my room.
Yeah, but look, I mean, you can hear from those noises. Whatever's going on over there, this is rough shit going on.
It's just like either they're involving a dog or she's a dog.
She's
like,
like barking and
barking,
stuff.
yeah.
I feel like that's probably more the case.
'Cause
If you never see a dog, yeah, she's like barking. Or I mean, the last time this was like the least clear of the audio so far. But like you can tell, there's some weird shit going on there.
Like some people have house dogs, right? They pee on the pee pad or whatever, and they don't leave.
Yeah, I know, but like you
But
never
I've
see the
never
dog.
seen a dog.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. It's weird.
It is. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
So I saw him the other day.
Okay, Crier.
Yeah.
John Crier. we'll
Yeah,
call
John
him?
Crier. At the dumpsters.
Right. Makes sense. Is that where he lives when she's home?
I have no idea, but
Okay.
I saw him, baby. And he's Oscar. And he was throwing something out and he needed help. It was like a big
It's
rug.
the dog. Oh.
Big rug. And I was like, hey, you need a hand? And he was like, oh, I really do. And I was like, I'm Roxy. He introduced himself. And I was like, so do you live here? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, do you live with? And then said her name. And he was like, oh, yeah.
That was it? Just like that?
And I was like, oh,
Some weird
Okay.
shit going on, man. This is going to be like a news story.
yeah, I
Except
don't
it
know.
can't be the answer. Like, oh, we never saw it coming.
No.
It's like, yeah, there's shit going down there all
No,
the
we
time.
can't possibly predict what's happening
No
there.
way.
It's just been a lot. It's been a lot.
a
the-
Netflix series.
What was the last thing that I sent you guys that I was still not on the show? There was something else that I sent you guys that was like effing ridiculous. You don't remember this?
No.
We went over the hallway situation, but
Yeah, the hallway was, that was like, it was
no,
like
when I went to send you this, I looked up and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that thing too.
there's something on the same chain.
Yeah, there was some. Oh, okay. I said it's been hours. Her hip must be feeling better.
Oh.
This was when I was
Well,
gone.
connect it to the Bluetooth.
Well, it's on your thing.
All right. Here is the other audio here. Yeah. Good Lord. Guy's hung like a rhinoceros, I think.
He doesn't look that way.
Who knows? She's enjoying herself.
It's really every night, though. And like, at first I would feel bad, but A, I'm never going to give this person's identity up, obviously.
Right.
So nobody knows who it is, so it's fine. But B, it's my actual life that this this is every night.
Every night.
Every night.
It's a new soundtrack.
It's like,
and it's also reminding you that you haven't had sex.
I know. And like so long. And
Right.
I really am happy for her, but also like, can you shut the fuck up?
It's loud.
It's so loud.
She's got to know she's that loud.
At first I was like, it's great, Slay Queen. And now I'm just like, fuck you.
But you got to admit she's not, not you have to admit, but you said she's pretty, but not that bright, right?
No, she's really bright.
Is she?
She's really pretty. And I think she's studying to be a doctor of some kind.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's like that Mallrats. You remember the Mallrats when the woman who did the...
She didn't respond to my last text, though.
Oh. What, her?
Yeah, I told you
neighbor?
she was keeping all this stuff in the garage.
Oh, yeah.
It was in my parking spot.
All right, we did 18 minutes on this.
Yeah.
All right.
You were over it.
Yeah, I think so for now.
How far in were you over it? Just now? Yeah, this is defective, Kristian.
Yeah, it's okay. It's for a 6-year-old. You just spit on me.
I didn't. It was this.
Yeah, but it's more same shit.
It's not.
All right, look. Here's what we're going to do.
Fuck this.
Fuck this. You know, there's Billy Eichner used to do...
Billy in the Street.
What?
Billy in the Street.
Yeah. So Billy in the Street, I remember when that was, before it went like viral. It's a ring. Before it went viral, I used to watch it. I remember my friend Jenny used to find it, and she's like, "This guy is really funny." It was before like everybody knew who he was. And when I was working at, I was in between when I was working at Silver, but I was still temping. I would temp at Warner Brothers from time to time. I remember watching this stuff, and there's this one clip I cannot find. It is the funniest clip ever.
What is it?
He's walking down the street as he always does, and interviewing people, and get random civilians to do stuff, and then he sees like it's like this. I don't know if the guy's an old German guy or a French guy. I can't tell. And he's got to be in his late 60s, maybe mid 70s, and he's got this green jacket on and like a beret. And he's walking down, and Billy goes, "Sir, I wanted to ask you a question about this." And the guy goes, "Fuck this." And Billy goes, "Okay, very nice, very nice." Walks by. It's the best clip, and I've been looking.
I loved watching his show.
I've been looking for that clip for years. If
somebody send
anybody
it to
can
him?
find it, please send it to me. It is literally Billy Eichner walking up to this guy, and he's like, "Sir, I'd like to ask you a few questions." "Fuck this." He goes, "Okay, very nice, very nice." He walks right by. I was in hysterics when I saw it. It was hilarious. And I can't find it anywhere. I was looking for years.
Did you look on TikTok?
I looked everywhere. I can't find it.
Did you look on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm sure I did.
Did you look on
I
TikTok?
think I did. I would believe that I did because I did look everywhere.
So did you look on
Yes.
TikTok?
I did. I don't know if that's true.
I want to know from you guys at home. Do you think Kristian looked on TikTok based on that?
Maybe not. All right, listen. Let's talk about
I have so much headroom, Kristian. I'm not that tall.
where. Well, now you look
This would be the whole show.
like Napoleon.
I do have a Napoleon complex.
There you go.
Yeah.
That works. Okay. So we speaking of movies that I saw. So yesterday, at the time of this, I guess 2 days ago, we aired this. I saw Napoleon.
Good old nap.
The nappies. And I saw it on around like 4 p.m. And I was worried because I had to go see 2 screenings. One was at 4, one was at 7, which was the Hunger Games one that we'll talk about in a second. But I was like, okay, this movie's 2:40. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to, get
Napoleon's 240.
240.
Ooh.
So, and apparently the director's cut is like 410, and they're going to put it on Apple next year.
It's just not a movie length.
What, 410?
Yeah, it's not a movie length.
It's like it's.
I understand
yeah.
Scorsese disagrees with that, and Ridley Scott disagrees with that.
Yeah,
There's a lot of directors who do 4-hour movie cuts, but just to me, anything over 3 hours is not a movie.
Well, it's funny because there's the movie itself. Now, does this bother you? And I think I told you this yesterday because it bothers me. And I was talking to my wife. She's like, I can understand. I don't think that bothers everybody though. I didn't mind. There's a TV show out right now, and it's what's his face, the guy, Sean Levy's show, right? And is it Sean Levy? Who did the old man? Was it Sean Levy the old man?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was Sean Levy.
What's the show?
The show
I'll be
is
able to tell you what it is.
the show is the one on Netflix about the period piece, the German piece one, and Stephen Knight wrote it, and it's what we do when we're sleeping, or what the hell was it called? It just came out like 2 weeks ago.
All the light we cannot see.
Yes, all the light we cannot see. So that show, my wife starts watching it, and I'm like, okay, you know me, I love World War II stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, let me check it. Who are you looking for?
No, I was just looking at it as Sean Levy.
Sean Levy,
all the light
right?
we cannot see.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I like Sean Levy a lot, and he directed the first episode, and he produced it, and I like Stephen Knight as well too. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be for me. Some like World War II stuff all day long. So the opening scene is like it was like the end of the war, and Americans are kind of bombing this place. It's Paris, but the Germans are occupying it. So the Germans are still there. It's like the last legs of the Nazi empire, and these Germans are together in this room, no one else around.
And they're speaking English.
They're fucking talking English. It's like, why? It's like, I understand the whole show can't be in German because it's, unless you're going to, like, Dark was in German. It was a German show.
Well, what are you going to do? Have them speak in English when they're with other people?
When they're around the French and they're talking, because maybe it's back and forth, and there's a couple of different things that's the language that they both know. Okay, fine. But when there's two German soldiers all by themselves,
so your like Schindler's List bothers you?
No, Schindler's List. They're talking. They're back and forth in German, but the difference is this. The difference is that you do get up to the point where it's like, okay, well, I understand why they don't want people to tune out because of subtitles and stuff. Fine, they have German accents. I'll give it a pass. So my Napoleon problem is this: everybody in the movie, everyone has some kind of an accent, except Joaquin Phoenix, who is speaking in an American accent. Now, Napoleon he was born in Italy, and he didn't have the biggest, he didn't have that much of a French accent in general. It was kind of like muddled. But he didn't sound like he was from Minnesota or whatever, or wherever, or California or whatever. He didn't. And there's times when Joaquin Phoenix is talking, and it's a great performance, but it threw me out of it a couple times. I'm going, oh, there's a bunch of people with all these. He's sitting there talking to the guy from Prussia, and he sounds like he's from California.
Yeah, that's weird. Strange. I haven't seen the movie yet, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It is always interesting to me who made that choice, right? Like, is that what he presented? Director's like, cool. Actor's like, this is what I got. Or does he present something else? Director's like, no.
Or does he try the French accent and it just sounds so bad?
So bad, yeah.
You and DJ Wooldred said something to me that I do agree with about this, and that was, well, isn't it more jarring if it's a bad French accent? And
way
answer,
worse.
Yeah, way worse.
Which we'll talk about in Hunger Games.
Was there a bad? Oh yeah. There's a particular choice. I didn't think it was a bad accent. I just don't understand why.
It just was a wild choice.
Yeah. So, but again, that's not a mass. It's not something that takes away from the movie itself. Like, the movie is Napoleon, gorgeous, obviously. It is a period war film. What it does well is it shows the rise of this soldier into the emperor. He becomes the emperor of France, for God's sakes, But it doesn't try to show him as this kind of hero, even though he's this incredible war.
Do you like him in the movie?
Not necessarily. You don't.
Are they trying to make him?
No, like redeem. Oh, you should, like, this was a great guy. No, okay. No. He slaps his wife around, like he does, like it's like he, but not. I mean, it is a love story, though, a toxic one, but it's a love story, and it's about him and Josephine, who it's documented where he's off fighting wars and she's banging other dudes. He comes back and he's like, it's just they were. It was just a very bizarre relationship in general. But she couldn't give him an heir. Like, it was like this whole thing. So but they do show how brilliant of how he was at war, and I liked what they did. The way Ridley Scott made this almost like this very morbid chess. You know what I mean? And the amount of soldiers they show, like the amount of soldiers that he lost in battles, like something like, oh, that's a lower number, big number, but lower number, and then there's one number that you're like, holy shit, like. You know, they go through a lot of stuff, but the problem is when you're going through, even with a 2-hour and 40-minute movie, there are times that it's like, because you're spanning a 15 to 17 year period, that it feels like, oh, that just jumped. They just kind of throw away in a line that happened now, and that person that he was friends with, they're no longer friends now, and now those people are now going to war, and it's like
The people you've heard of?
well, it's someone in the movie. Like someone in the movie, like, oh, they're friends. And then in the next scene, they're not. Now they're going to war. But it's like, where did that whole scene go? And there is like a 4-hour cut that Ridley Scott is releasing. So
a TV show.
It's like a event, right? It's like it's to me the same thing like the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut played well on television for me because you can pause it, come back to it the next day, and it plays well. And it's almost like if we can just transition to it now. I thought that the Hunger Games movie really played like, and this is a compliment to it, not a years ago I think this would have been an insult, but like it played like a television show, and I think that writing in television today is better than writing in movies because you can really spend time with the characters and marinate on the characters, and that's kind of what I thought the new Hunger Games did.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it.
Let's talk
The
about
new
it.
Hunger Games.
Go ahead.
You loved it.
I enjoyed it a lot. Yes.
I liked it a lot too.
Yeah.
I had more issues with it than you did, I think, though.
Yeah.
You know, it was super good, but for anybody who doesn't know going into it, and no spoilers, obviously, it has 3 very distinct acts, as a lot of movies do. But those 3 acts it really did play like either a book or a TV show. It did not play like a movie, which I love TV shows, and that's cool. But it was a little jarring.
I get it. Yeah.
But I was okay with that. I found there to be a lack of chemistry between the leads.
It's funny. I didn't
Which-
that we're on disagreement
Yeah,
of.
and that, of course, is a problem.
For sure. Yeah.
I think that they're both stellar actors. I just didn't believe that them.
See,
Yeah.
I did from the way that the relationship is put together. It's put together. So if people don't know what the story's about, because I didn't read this book. I read
it is
the
a book.
first. It is. Yeah. Suzanne Collins wrote this one as well.
Afterwards.
Yeah. The first
makes
3
perfect
I
sense.
did read. Really enjoyed the first book. Thought the first movie by Gary Ross was okay. Thought
Catching Fire is your favorite?
Catching Fire is my favorite. It's a really good book. Best movie for sure. And then Mockingjay 1 and 2, the movies is just one book. There's only so much. I just didn't like the book. The book was just kind of like there, and so it was the same story in the movie. So I didn't know what this was about. I thought they were just essentially going to rehash the first one, and they don't. They don't rehash the first movie at all. Like she doesn't play like Katniss to me at all. They're not trying to make her Katniss.
No. I did look up afterwards, like, is there a relation between, because there's one moment that I was kind of curious about.
The flowers or whatever.
Yeah, and also we know their districts and stuff.
Yeah, no, I
so-
think that's essentially. I think that's just who Katniss was named
out. Yeah. So, but I think that maybe because I didn't read the books, I loved all 4 of the original movies.
Yeah.
This to me is definitely the worst of the 5 movies in this
Really?
franchise. I loved all 4 of
Wow.
the other ones. Loved.
Wow,
Didn't
okay.
have a movie that I didn't love. So I liked this one. I did, but to me it wasn't as good as the original trilogy. What is 4?
I think it's the second best.
What's 4 called?
Quadruple Farple.
Farple. It's not as good as the Farple for me.
It's
This
my
is this
second
can't be your
favorite.
second favorite.
Second favorite. Yeah, I do. And not my
Really?
second favorite story. If I'm going to put them all in stories, including
But
the books,
as how good of a movie you think it is? This is the one you think is the second best?
I think it's better than the first one. I think it's more detailed than the first movie. The first movie leaves out
That's
a lot.
interesting.
Just because I know the book so well.
Yeah, and I don't.
The book is done. The book it wasn't, and I think it's why Ross left, because I don't think it was as good. Because Francis Lawrence directs. He directed 2. He directed 3 and part 1 and 2 of Mockingjay. And he directed this one, and I just think he understands the world so well. And I think the Hunger Games are presented better in this than they were in the first movie.
It was the way that it's presented. The first 2, if you had asked me after Act 2 of this movie, I would have been like, I fucking loved this movie.
Yeah.
Like I was in it and so in it. but things, it didn't fall apart for me. It just got
Takes a turn.
It takes a turn, and that turn for me was not beneficial for my viewing.
So I get that because I also saw, I think Perry had the same issue. And I was looking at a tweet from her about.
Really, Perry and I never agree.
I know, never agree, but I did see that. And I thought and the thing is, I can see where a lot of people are like this. It just feels like because they could have, and I said this to you on the phone last night, you could have ended after one particular part 2 of the movie, chapter 2 of the movie. You could have ended it there, and then if it does well, what we see from chapter 3 on made that the second movie. You could have easily done that.
Yeah, then I would have thought that this movie was like, mwah.
And I think there's going to be a lot of people that feel that way. However, I loved the change. I loved how it wasn't predictable. It felt like a little jarring that we were
Well,
where
it is
they went.
predictable.
But I'm predictable in a certain
we
aspect
know
because we know
where we
where
go.
we know where he goes, of course. But I think that what I mean by that is predictable as far as storytelling, as far as the way that movies are usually presented. You would usually get exactly what we just said. You would usually, the end of the chapter 2 would be the end of the movie. But it's like, no, that's why I said it felt like TV. It felt like, no, it's not over yet. We're going to go down this path. And I enjoyed it because I was so invested in the story that they took us with Tom Blythe, who it's his movie. It's his movie. I thought it was going to be Rachel Zegler's movie. It's not. It's his movie, and he runs with it. Never heard of this kid before. Thought he was
He's very talented.
Very talented.
Going back to something we talked about before, she has a full-blown Southern accent in this movie.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why that choice was made.
She's the only one in the movie with a Southern accent, and it is like a deep South, strong Southern accent.
With no reason. Well, the only reason they do
she
kind
travels.
They do explain that her mom and her came from a different place.
Right, but that place is clearly the South in our universe. Like, it just was.
Yeah, but who knows? It is our universe, just thousands of years, or not thousands, but hundreds of years later, I think. So it's like,
so that's what
maybe. That one I can give a pass a little bit more than I can someone talking like they're from Detroit in the middle of France.
I guess to me it was distracting, so it was distracting.
Fair.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know whether it was better or worse than something else. I just know I would have preferred her not to have it because I kept thinking, why does she have a Southern accent?
Yeah. I think that had they not explained that whole thing to the traveling people, I was like, oh, okay, maybe the traveling people.
Well, how come the rest of the traveling people don't have it?
Who are the traveling people? Who else are the traveling people? Who are they? We don't see them.
The blonde girl, the other girl, yeah.
Which one are you talking about? She came from this thing with her mom.
Yeah, and her community. She wants to take care of this community. They're called something.
Oh, right. The whatever the hell they are.
Right, and that blonde girl who goes and fetches her guitar.
And she doesn't have an accent?
No, not that I heard.
No.
Yeah, we met a couple in the group.
That one's a little nitpicky though.
I would say I agree, except for the fact that it was distracting.
Right.
So if it's distracting
to you, right?
Yeah, then it's not
it
a
throws you off
nitpick.
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. That's fair.
You know what's crazy though is like while I was watching this movie, I really, really enjoyed it.
Sure.
So I can't sit here and say I didn't really like this movie because I did really like this movie. Just there were things that I was like, if this movie had changed by 5%, I could have liked it 20% more.
Sure. So you think that if it would have ended after chapter 2, you probably really would have loved it.
I think I would have loved it. The chemistry thing was a little tough for me.
Yeah.
And I think it was glaring with the shift, is when I really started to notice, like, oh, I kind of felt this throughout more.
I'm curious what people are going to say. Because
I think they're going to love it.
I can see a lot of people saying exactly what you and Perry said, though. I can see tons of people saying it should have ended after chapter 2.
I don't think most fans think like that.
I don't know.
Right?
I don't know.
Isn't that a very like uppity critic thought?
Not really, no,
Okay.
because I think that to me is like because the majority of the focus of the story is chapter 1 and chapter 2, and you spend a lot of time in the Capitol.
Yeah, it takes us a long time to get to the games.
There's a lot of stuff, and so when you end it in the end of chapter 2, you're like, okay, that could be the ending. But it's not the story they really were telling. And that's why I liked 3, because when you get to chapter 3, even though some people might feel like, oh, they could have pushed this into another movie, when you look at the core of what this story is about from the second it starts, it really wraps up.
I liked chapter 3 maybe the most of all of the chapters.
Interesting.
I just
you just
don't,
thought it was misplaced into this movie.
Yeah, I
Got
loved
it.
chapter 3. I love what they did. I hope anybody who's seen it knows where we go. But
Right.
like, this is an Anakin's kind of story. You know,
Yeah,
this
right.
is like this is a story that
Yeah, how does Snow go to the dark side?
right, exactly. So I thought that they actually did that part. That was Tom Blythe's best performance was
Easily.
in chapter 3
Yeah.
because he's so like, ooh,
Yeah,
gosh,
right.
so great.
You believe that he turns into Donald Sutherland. It's
Yeah.
Like, see, and that's again, and I don't like to do this because I know people get up in arms when I do it. But
You're about to talk about Solo?
yes, and it just
Saw it coming.
It just shows the difference. It just shows the difference. Like that's the thing when you look at like so this is something that I'm going to reference now when people say like, well, of course he wasn't the Solo that we know because he's not there yet. Even when Snow is in his most pure form in this movie, you still go, oh, that's the guy. He's going to be that guy.
Do you feel that way about Hayden?
Yeah, because Hayden now has had TV shows and other things to kind of marinate even
Okay.
more in the show. So, but when I look and I go, yeah, that's the guy. Like that's Donald Sutherland. Who like you, I can see where that goes from there all the way to there because there's still, even though he's significantly different as a 19-year-old kid, to where he's going to be in his late 60s or 70s. His personality is still it's his traits are there.
Yeah, he did a really killer job. Really killer job. It just was like I study scripts, obviously, as do people here. So when we got to part 3, I was just like, this is not. The structure is throwing me off.
Yeah.
And maybe upon second watch, third watch, it would be easier because I kind of know where the shift is coming. But it was jarring.
Yeah, I get it, and that's like I said. Like it just to me, I liked the non-traditional jarringness of it. So
It made it go from an A to a B for me.
all right, so very curious to what you guys think of all these movies that are coming out. There's tons of films coming out now, especially there's tons of promotion now coming out. Roxy, I know you're always excited when I talk about Green Chef.
I really am. I
know
love
you do.
them.
All right, let's talk about Green Chef. Here you go. I love talking about Green Chef. You guys know I do. And I'm going to talk about them even more. It's Thanksgiving time, baby. You got to eat clean all holiday long with 80 plus weekly options that change every week, featuring delicious, nutritionist approved recipes. You can choose from their 8-meal preference with options for every lifestyle. Quick and easy, protein packed, calorie smart, Mediterranean, keto, delicious discoveries, gluten-free, and plant-based. Eating clean shouldn't be boring, especially during the holiday season. Feel your best and satisfy your cravings with adventurous eats made nutritious. Discover exciting new flavors with recipes that feature certified organic fruits and vegetables, sustainably sourced seafood, and unique farm-fresh ingredients like tart cherries, truffle zest, and rainbow carrots. Eat clean the delicious way this November with flavor-packed recipes like buttery lemon garlic shrimp, harissa apricot chicken, maple burnett squash risotto, and sriracha tamari beef bowls. I love Green Chef. You guys know it. I've been eating it forever, and now I was so excited because I'm so excited in general that they're with us, but I was so excited to be selfishly because of the holiday season, and I cannot wait to get the stuff for Thanksgiving. Can't wait. It's so delicious. Makes me feel good. And I don't know, for some reason, I feel like a chef. I'm definitely not. And I definitely feel like one when I'm working with Green Chef. For Green Chef's best deal of the year, you're going to get $250 off, but you got to use that code THING250 at greenchef.com/thing250. Did you hear what I just said? $250 off with the code THING250 at greenchef.com/thing250. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. Guys, I'm so excited to tell you about the Patreon. I know a lot of new people have been signing up. I'm so excited that you have been. We have just done a complete rehaul of the Patreon, and there's a lot of new goals. We have a full year. If we can get to 1,000, hopefully before that, but if we can get to 1,000 patrons, Winston's going to go to Universal, and he's going to go to Halloween Horror Nights, and he doesn't like those things. Me, I don't like the Red Sox. So as we approach, I think it's like 700 patrons, I have to watch the Red Sox beat the Yankees with JTE, for God's sakes, from the 2004 series. Very painful for me. We have a lot of other things. The Flirt and Flout's going to jump out of a plane at 10,000. patrons. But the other side is we have a lot of extra content over there. We got stuff going on, whether it's exclusive episodes a day before they come out to the YouTube channel. We have exclusive that's just exclusive. There's an extra show that Riley and I do over there. There's going to be some live Q&As that we do over there. So there's all of that. That's a lot of fun. The direct connectivity to all of you guys has been very, very exciting. One of the things that I think has really been going over well are these one-on-one sessions that I've been doing with people. There's only around 12 spots per month, and they're going pretty fast. Since we switched over from the website, I still think there's like 3 or 4 left, but it's essentially just me for about a half an hour talking to people, and we go over a lot of different things. We talk movies, we talk about life. It's really fun. And there's another one. There's another one that we have, and that's at the $35 tier, 15-minute sessions, and it could be with anybody. You don't know who you're going to get. Could be Brett, could be Steph, could be Kate, could be Mike. Who knows? So you can join over at patreon.com/thebigthingshow. Sign up today. Love to get more of you guys over there. We're building this thing out, and we love to have this kind of just community that we're building, and I'm so excited to have you all on board. So thanks. Patreon.com/thebigthingshow. All right, thank you to our friends over at Green Chef. And as I threw in there, the Patreon, make sure you join us on Patreon. We got a lot of different things happening on Patreon. You know, somebody had recommended for a certain goal that you have to do a full show in character with big balls if we get to a certain into a certain tier.
100,000.
20,000.
Yeah. I was going to say 20,000. I was going to say 20,000. I was like, you're at 100.
We're at 600 right. No, we're at 400 right now.
Oh, this is for patrons.
For patrons. So if we get to
20,000,
because Mike is at 6,000 for. What about 6,500? Would you do a full hour with big balls?
Yeah, obviously.
Roxy,
you're at 400.
We're at 400 right now.
So yes, we're at
650.
650. No, you said
650.
What's Mike?
600.
Oh, then yeah. Okay, 650.
Okay, so that'll be good.
Yeah, Roxy. Me and you doing a full hour, baby. You think you can handle it?
We'll see if you get there.
Oh, you don't got no faith? You got no faith in Harloff?
I do have faith.
Come on, man.
That's the problem.
Come on. Me and you, Roxy. What we can talk about? We can talk about our night out that you don't want to talk about.
Oh, yeah, because I'm hiding that.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Don't deny it. Don't deny it.
So creepy.
No, creepy. Come on, I'm
So
cute.
creepy. You're
I'm
not
cute.
You're
Come
not
on,
cute.
Roxy. Come on. I got big balls. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I don't think he's too creepy. He's a little. I think
a creep.
He's creepy.
He's a creep.
Yeah, he's creepy.
Mother effing creep.
It's a little forward.
I'd do the whole
Full
hour.
show. All right.
Better get there.
We'll see. All right, guys. Look, we got some more stuff, and then we'll get the hell out of here. The thing that I said we're going to lead with, didn't do that. Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. It officially loses its director, Destin Daniel Cretton. Update on his future MCU projects. More big changes are taking place at Marvel Studios as it's been confirmed that Destin Daniel Cretton will no longer direct Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. Where does that leave Shang-Chi 2 and Wonder Man? Josh Wilding, Deadline, and the other Hollywood trades have confirmed today that Destin Daniel Cretton has decided to step down as director of Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and he's going to focus on other Marvel projects. Many of you will no doubt be concerned by even more big changes taking place behind the scenes at Marvel. It is said that this was an amicable exit, similar to John Watts deciding he wouldn't direct Fantastic Four. Cretton reportedly intends to very much stay part of the MCU and is in talks to direct future Marvel movies. We don't currently know what those are, but Cretton still plans to helm the sequel to Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, despite claims that it's been scrapped. He's also working on Wonder Man. With this news comes confirmation that it too will come under the new Marvel Spotlight banner, as Echo is when Hawkeye spinoff is released in January. The director took charge of the first 2 episodes of Wonder Man and is executive producer on the project. As with countless other TV shows, work was paused as a result of the strikes and is now set to resume after Thanksgiving. What is to become of the Kang Dynasty Avengers movie? Rumor has it that Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania scribe Jeff Loveness has been quietly dismissed from the movie, meaning it currently has no writer and has no director. There are rumblings that Loki and Doctor Strange scribe Michael Waldron is working on that and Avengers Secret Wars, but nothing has been confirmed, and it feels like Marvel's going back to the drawing board with both movies. It's likely a result of Jonathan Majors' ongoing legal issue and the mixed response to Kang the Conqueror as the MCU's new big bad. It would be strange to abandon the villain now. Thanos didn't exactly get glowing reviews after Guardians of the Galaxy, so a recasting could be planned. The multiverse saga is very much in a state of flux, and we wouldn't at all be surprised if the release dates on both Avengers movies change again. We're hopeful that Kristian does intend to work on something with Marvel, but it's always hard to tell when there's a split. Roxy?
Yeah.
So there's a lot here, obviously, with
Yeah.
the announcement of the screenwriter yesterday not being part of it, the ongoing legal troubles of Jonathan Majors, the kind of Loki season 2 basically saying, look, there's ways to get us out of here if we need to. And now the director stepping off, but sticking around with Marvel. To me, what it seems like is they called him in. They said, look, we like what you're doing. We want you to do a bunch of stuff. We're going to revamp this whole thing. So why don't you step off of this? We'll do Wonder Woman. We'll do this other stuff. To not do a Shang-Chi sequel is silly, considering it's one of the biggest hits that they've had recently.
That's so strange to me.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to do that at some point, I think.
You would have
Because,
seen, yeah.
I mean, Simu is great,
Mm-hmm.
and the movie was solid, and people liked it. So it's one of the things that's working for you guys right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be so weird to ditch it.
It'd be strange, but it does play to me that they would say, yeah, we're just going to go in a different direction. Now, we talked about this kind of in depth when we talked about the screenwriters yesterday, myself and Frank and Steph, and I had posed the same question I'm going to pose to you, is that do you think, because of the way they've set up Kang, that they should scrap him, or should they recast him if indeed they are going to go away from Jonathan Majors?
I'm not obsessed with Kang. I don't think that he is like the most necessary character, but I also think that Marvel tends to have a villain problem, and at least we know kind of what he's doing. And Loki obviously is a fan favorite, and the fact that the TVA, I was like TCA, no, that's wrong. TVA. The fact that TVA is now, spoilers for Loki, off looking for all of the Kangs in the world, that could lead to something fun. I think that obviously you can't keep Jonathan Majors. I think that you could recast him pretty easily, variant, whatever. Don't even mention it. I don't even give it a crap.
Well, you can't keep him yet. I mean, there's still the trials hasn't even really happened yet.
You can't keep who?
Jonathan Majors, there's still a possibility they could keep him. You said they can't keep him. There's still a possibility you can keep him.
I think it's very unlikely based off of all the evidence that's been presented so far. But you are right. If he goes to trial and for some reason every single woman that's come forward is all proven to be false, I just don't think that
it's
likely
likely
happening.
Maybe not.
Yeah, alleged.
But I'm just saying also, and there's probably a reason because of what you're saying also. Marvel does enough research going, what are we looking at here? How likely do you think it is? What's our chances that he's going to be proven guilty, innocent?
And they're doing internal investigations.
Exactly. So they must have enough information if they're going to go the other way to say, okay, this is not going to, it's not going to go his way.
Yeah.
So,
there was that one piece of information that came out about one of the women who had been accusing him that she had an arrest and that there was an issue there. But it seems like there's an overwhelming amount of information. I mean, and even if he does win, same thing as Ezra Miller, who is not receiving prison time and has gotten away with.
But
a
he
lot
didn't
of
go
the
to
things
trial
that they've
though.
done.
But he didn't go to.
They did go to
Ezra
trial.
Miller went to trial?
Yeah, they did go to trial.
I don't remember that. I don't remember Ezra Miller going to trial.
Yeah, yeah, for the home and the burglary.
Okay, maybe the burglary itself, but the other stuff too. But either way, I think there's a difference to where if it comes out again, I'm just hypothetically to where it's like we find out that the charge is innocent, everything, right?
But are you saying that because Ezra Miller, you think that they're more likely to keep Ezra because there was a lack of trial?
No. They're because also the Flash did terribly. So, and it doesn't. It's, what I'm saying more so with Jonathan Majors is if they have Jonathan Majors set to do this entire storyline, and then he is proven innocent, again, and they get rid of him, and he had a contract, it's a lawsuit. Now,
I think this would still probably be a breach of one of his clauses, even if
he's proven innocent.
Probably, because it depends on what they are able to prove.
Right, but the flip side of that, now the clause is decided if he's proven guilty, is then that's why I'm thinking, like you said, the internal investigations, the research on
Conduct.
it, that if you're getting this close to say, let's move on, let's take the director off, let's take the writer off, then they probably have a pretty good hunch
Inkling. Yeah.
that it's going to go the other way. So my question, I guess, would be, do they do
Scrap it or
because-
recast. Is like,
yeah, because I think that
I think either's fine.
either's fine.
Yeah,
right?
either's fine.
Yeah, I think at this point, people would be like, and you can explain it through the variants. You can explain it if you're going to recast. You can explain it, or you just really focus on Doctor Doom and bring him in quick.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think many people were attached to Kang. So
It's the same thing Steph said yesterday too. Yeah, it's like he didn't have the effect. But to Josh Wilding's point though, he hasn't really had enough time. But the biggest mistake that they did have was having the scariest version that was supposed to be in Quantumania get beat by Ant-Man and the Ants. Like when he was able to get beat by Ant-Man, good villain. But okay, well, if he's going to get beat by Ant-Man, then the other variants could probably get beaten by everybody else.
yeah, that's not like a Thanos style.
No.
Yeah. I think that that's a pretty good point. Also, I know that you guys feel differently. I know every person on the planet feels differently. Believe me, I know. I didn't love this season of Loki, and
Did you watch the last episode? Did
Yeah.
you love the last episode?
it was good.
Oof, loved
I
it.
thought that the entire season could have been a 10 to 15 minute short,
Oh man.
and I thought that the last episode
All right, Roxy, you froze at one point, so I don't know where you froze at. But either way,
in hell.
where were we talking about? Oh, so Loki.
Yeah, I just think it was good. I definitely thought it was good, but I didn't gush over it. And Jonathan Majors was a huge distraction for me in that as well.
Oh, because you didn't like the way he played Victor Timely with the accent and stuff.
It was just, like goofy
Oh,
to
okay.
me. Yeah,
Yeah, I loved it. I loved this season, but anyway, we had a lot more.
you
to
and
talk.
everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, I dug that particular thing, especially coming after the Marvels. But anyway, Roxy, it was good to have you back on. We'll see you back with Brett next week.
Yeah. No,
Nope, not next week.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving.
Unless
we're
you
gonna
have
be
me
off.
do digital because you love digital.
False. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So thanks for joining us here, guys. Appreciate it. For Roxy, Striar, and me, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Apple Podcast, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are fine. All right. Bye-bye. See you.